Hello, friends. 8th March, 2014. At 12:42 in the morning, Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur. This flight was headed to Beijing. There were 227 passengers on this flight, 10 flight attendants, and 2 pilots flying this plane. Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, 53 years old, one of the senior-most captains in Malaysian Airlines, highly experienced, and First Officer Fariq Hamid, 27 years old. It was a training flight for him. After completing this training flight, he would have been fully certified to become a pilot. This flight flies in the correct direction for about 20 minutes. But at 01:08 in the morning, this flight crossed the Malaysian coastline and reached above the South China Sea, in the direction of Vietnam. Zahari reported that the plane was at 35,000 feet. Everything was running normally. About 11 minutes later, the airplane entered the jurisdiction of the Vietnamese air traffic. That's why the air traffic control of Kuala Lumpur radios the airplane saying, Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh, 1:20:9, good night. Captain Zahari answered by saying, good night, MAS 370. Everything sounds normal, and it was normal till this point in time. But these words by Captain Zahari were the last words from this airplane. After this, there was no news from this flight. The Malaysian Airlines flight disappeared suddenly, and this became the biggest aviation mystery in the world.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 disappeared en route to Beijing. Flight MH370 entered in the southern Indian Ocean.
Merely 30 seconds after entering the Vietnamese airspace, this plane disappeared from the radar suddenly. It was 01:21 a.m. in the morning. The air traffic control in Kuala Lumpur didn't notice this, and when they do, they think that the plane had flown out of the range of their radar and had entered Vietnam's airspace. So there's nothing unusual. On the other hand, the air traffic control in Vietnam saw that the MH370 entered their airspace, but disappeared from their radar suddenly. They tried to communicate with the plane, but there was no response from the other side. After repeatedly trying for 18 minutes, Vietnamese controllers informed Kuala Lumpur that MH370 had disappeared suddenly. Generally, in such situations, Kuala Lumpur's Aeronautical Rescue Coordination Center should have been notified within 1 hour about the disappearance of the plane. But it was only after 4 hours had passed that an emergency response began. It was 6:32 in the morning. This was the time by when the airplane should have landed in Beijing, but it did not land. A search operation was called immediately.
Efforts began to find the plane. If you look at the map, the plane was flying from Malaysia to Beijing. Vietnam lies in the middle, as well as the South China Sea.